In our Trader Rundown now, I'm joined by Dan Deming of KKM Financial and Dismay in May on the jobs report.
Well said, Angie, well said.
So what do you think this will mean for traders?
Well, you know, I think it builds that theme of what's the Fed going to do the second half of the year. I mean, I think all the indications are they're going to move in June, and that's the expectation. But when we see these disconnect between the numbers, we saw a strong number the previous month, and then the ADP number last week was pretty strong as well. So this is a little bit of a variance as far as what the market was anticipating. It could be a one-off, you know, the market's not going to react too negatively to this, I think, because of the fact that it could just be a lull in the overall jobs creation that we've seen has been pretty strong so far this year.
Dan, are there any sectors that stand out in your mind?
Yeah, you know, I think, Angie, when you look at what's going on, certainly the transportation average has shown some tremendous strength, bouncing off its 200-day moving average and moving, you know, into a range now where it could break out to the high side. But the utility sector has shown tremendous strength this year, and that's because I think primarily because of the disconnect between what the Fed is trying to indicate as far as rates and what the market's indicating. So you're seeing, you know, basically the market fading the Fed, indicating that they don't think the Fed's going to be too aggressive. This number that you mentioned, you know, certainly might change that tune moving forward. But nonetheless, we're seeing utilities rally very strongly this year on the fact that we've seen rates actually come in.
How much are utilities and transportations up compared to the rest of the market?
Well, the utilities are up about 10.5%, so we're seeing that very strong, as well as you know, the transports are basically flat for the year, and we're seeing the Dow up, you know, basically coming off its highs from March. But you know, they're in coordination with everything else. But when you look at the utilities, something that surprised me when you think of this market pushing to new highs, we're seeing the fact that the Fed's talking about rate hikes, yet the utilities are up 10.5% this year.
Well, thank you, and have a great trading day.
Thanks for having me.